We were having a nice spirited back and forth. You were saying that you thought that God created men and women equally.
No, I said God created men and women, not equals. We're not equals, absolutely not. But he did create us, both of us. So we're either, I feel like we're supposed to be a team in some sort of way.
Well, team implies what?
Not equality. In a team setting, no one is an equal. There's people have positions. In a team setting.
Okay, so you would say that the man's the head of the family.
He should. I would like my man to be the head of my family, and I would like to support him in however way I can.
Do you think that men should be the head of the family?
I think every relationship has a different dynamic, but me personally, I want my man to be the head of my family, yes.
Okay, so I'll grant that every single relationship has a different dynamic.
They do.
Would you say, though, that generally it's a better idea if the man is at the head?
Yes, I think the dynamic is much more better from my experience when I see my friends who are married. Mm-hmm. The dynamic is typically better when, yes.
Yeah, and should women be submissive to their men?
Absolutely, but you gotta, you don't want to be submissive to, just anything, you gotta be,
well, no, that wouldn't be your man. You would be submissive to your man, right?
Yeah, but this man that I'm submissive to, there's everyone should have standards and, should have their standards. And it's that's what you should be.
So what standard does a man have to meet for you to be submissive to him?
For me, a big one is mainly a provider.
Mm-hmm.
Money is a big factor because, we have access to a lot of things. If I have kids, I want to make sure that they go to good schools and we have a nice home and we live in a nice neighborhood, things like that.
So if he meets the material conditions.
That, and also communication, because along the way of our relationship, there will be, things that we need to overcome and misunderstandings and different points of views. So important for us to we're solution oriented and not so much stuck on this, I'm right, you're wrong. It's more this is the issue. And
but what if he says he's right and you're wrong?
I'll let him have it, and then maybe when he calms down, I'll revisit.
That's that's awful benevolent of you to let him have it.
It depends what the heat of the moment is, but I will.
It doesn't sound very submissive. I mean, you're gonna go bother him again in an hour? You're like, okay, fine, and then you're gonna come back in an hour and be like, but after having thought about this in my bedroom, I got more and more upset and felt like I needed to bring it back to you.
Look, it all depends on what it is. Some things I'm willing to okay, whatever. It's not I'm not sure. It depends really on the argument and what it is. You know what I mean?
So here's why I'm asking. Let me just cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
I don't believe when most women say that they want to be submissive that they're telling the truth.
Why?
I think that because I don't believe that what they consider submission to be, I think that they consider it another form of partnership or equality. So I'll submit as long as you meet X, Y, Z condition. So for instance,
right, well,
hang on. You said material conditions are important.
For me, yes.
So you get married to a guy who makes $500,000 a year. He gives you a wonderful life. He gets sick.
Okay.
Like my dad did. He gets multiple sclerosis. Okay. And now he's messed up. Is he still the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
I mean, he's my partner. I married him. It wasn't his fault that he got sick.
It's true. But is he the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
In my eyes, he is. I would be kids, respect your father. He's still your dad.
He says, I make all the decisions, and you're going to follow those decisions.
Well, I think decisions in a household, it's a two-parent household. What decisions are being made? I think if you respect...
Well, that's not submission.
If you respect your partner, look, submissive is not a slave. Let's be clear.
What is it?
Submissive is to me, if your man, look, if we have gender roles, if we are both doing our part, in a way, a man submits to a woman, a woman submits to a man.
No, a man doesn't submit to a woman. How does a man submit to a woman?
Because your woman will have certain wishes that she wants you to grant or things she wants you to do. Let's say, throw out the trash or be home by dinner at this time or, help me with this, help me with that. Or
sounds like equality.
Or provide. That's not equality because, she's not.
Well, if you're saying he has to submit under XYZ role. You have to submit under XYZ role. It sounds like it's a partnership.
Look, yes, we are partners.
Oh, that's not equal.
Partners are not equal.
They're not? You have a lesser equality to your husband?
No, I deserve respect.
Well, that confuses me.
Okay.
Are you equal or are you not equal to your husband?
We're not equal because you're a man, I'm a woman. We deserve equal respect, but we both have different roles. So
equal dignity as human beings, sure.
We have different roles in this relationship dynamic. You're a father, you're a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a mother.
So what's his role if he's sick? Right? And he can't work and you have to provide. And he says this. Hang on. He says this. When you come home, you're going to give me all the money. And I'm going to put the money in where I see fit, right? That's where it's going to go. Well, and hang on. Let me finish. And you disagree with what he's doing with that money, and you're making it.
Why would I disagree? I would trust. I mean,
because you do. You think he's spending it unwisely.
So in this scenario, I disagree with him. I would express that. Look, I don't think it's a smart decision. And if you want to that's the thing. Like, it's not an argument. It's like this is what's the problem. Like, let's solve it. So it's not about me being right or you being right. And he says, okay,
let's solve it. We're going to do this, and that's it.
Well, that wouldn't be my partner.
Oh,
because
right.
my partner's not stuck on. My partner's not stuck on having his way.
Respect me first, Andrew.
Right. So when you boil it down,
we both deserve respect. How would you like it if I came home and I'm like, no, we're only doing this, and what I say goes?
Well, if I was the one advocating that I was submissive, that would be my expectation.
Look, in a
is that I'd come home and submit.
In a relationship, we both submit at certain different times of the day.
Equality.
Like, it's not equality.
Oh, really? It sounds like equality.
Okay,
it sounds like with like flowery.
What's equality to you?
So for me, it would be a kind of utilitarian aspect of egalitarianism, which would mean that you think that you are to your husband.
I'm not, though. So
then why is it that if he says this is the way it is, you say,
I wouldn't argue
that would
with
not
him.
be my partner who said that to me. If I thought he was using that money irresponsibly, I thought so.
So what would you do if your wife was misusing your money? Like, you're not going to have
I would take the money away from her.
You're not. So I'm not going to take anything away from my husband. Like,
well, then if he says that's the way it is, you should say what?
Well, then that's the way it is. But
well, then how come earlier you said that would not be my partner?
Because my partner would allow me to express myself and have my views.
Why should he allow you to express yourself if he's already made the decision? If he says no.
Because some decisions require two people.
Which ones?
And some decisions you want your partner's input.
Which decision requires two people?
It doesn't. I don't have. Have you ever been married or in a relationship?
Let's assume I haven't.
Okay, well,
you can tell?
whether you have or you haven't.
I thought you might.
I have a question. Whether you have or you haven't, have you owned a business with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't.
Have you played a sport with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't. Can you get to the argument?
My argument is that in all these things, you need to consult with the people you're working with, or
consult.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a coach in a team, when you go to consult with your players, can you do things like, say, run a bunch of fucking laps? And if you don't, you're off the team.
I don't know. I'm not a coach.
Then why'd you bring it up as an example?
Because, when you're...
Why did you ask me?
Because I'm talking about team.
What the fuck? You just asked me. You're like, have you ever been on a team? Yeah. And I give you a team analogy, and you're like, I have no idea.
Right, you're talking about... Okay, I'm talking about team setting, as in team player with team player. You're talking about the coach. I think, I'm not a coach. I don't know. But in a team setting, like a relationship is, because it is a partnership. You get married as a partnership.
And your submission comes in as what?
As respect for my husband.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I just gave you a scenario in which your husband says, from your perspective, he's not respecting you. From your perspective, he's saying, hang on, it's baked into the hypothetical. Just listen. Don't move it. Hang on. Don't move ahead because it's designed to test your logic.
Why is hypothetical always negative?
Hypotheticals aren't always negative. It's just designed to test your logic so we can see where you end up.
Okay, cool.
This guy's making decisions you don't agree with, and he's taking your money, which you're earning, and he's sick. And you say, I don't agree with the decisions, and he says, listen, that's too bad. I have the last word on this. What happens?
Look, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation. I just trust that the man I end up with, I have good judgment of character. And, when people are sick, they're not themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think, I understand you say you don't know.
I don't know,
But from my perspective, submission, people who actually say, I submit to my husband, in that situation, they submit.
It's not again so much about being right or wrong.
That's right.
I think it's more about like, this is the problem, let's solve it. So that is, you know.
Yeah, but what if he says it's not a problem? I've already solved it. Now go away.
Okay, then I trust him.
Now go to your room. Now go to your room.
Look, if it's solved, if my husband wouldn't speak to me that way. That's
Why
the
not?
thing. Because there's respect. Because when you respect
That's
your
not-
partner,
If you're questioning him, you're not respecting him.
I'm not questioning him. You
Well,
are.
then
you're
why did he
saying-
send you to your room?
You're saying.
No, she's mad.
your
She's about Chris
story-
saying go leave,
No,
bitch.
and-
He didn't. And just to clarify, Chris said leave bitch. That's
in
not what
your
he said.
No, I
okay,
didn't say
okay.
that.
Yeah, he didn't say that. So
Okay.
disregard Chris.
No.
But
I
But
didn't
in
say
your
that.
story, I'm disagreeing with my husband. I would like, you know, I'm not really like a disagreeable person because I trust the man I'm with.
What are you doing right now?
No,
right now, man?
No, he wants to debate and argue. I'm not, you know, so I'm standing my ground on my point of view. And you
Well,
know,
I'll just end it like this then. Maybe we can find some common ground.
maybe we could.
So, in the situation then, if your husband, from your perspective, gets sick,
Yes.
right, and it's terrible, but all of his faculties are intact, right, and he says,
Okay.
now you're going to go work. When you get home, I'm going to take the money, I'm going to apply it to the household how I see fit, even if you don't like it.
I trust him.
And
I
you
would say
agree
yes.
that women should do so.
I trust him, so I
Yeah,
would,
no, but
I
you
would say
agree
yes.
women should do so if they're married.
I mean, it's your kingdom. Yeah, you cooperate. Like, you know what I mean? It's more than just about you. It's about your family and you guys. You know, everybody has different values. So, like, for me, like, I trust him. If he's intact, yeah, he's sick. Like, yo, like, okay, now it's my turn.
And you think most women should?
I think if you value that relationship and you want it to last a long time and last, then yeah,
Then
do your
okay.
end. Do
Perfect.
your end.
Well, then we find some agreement. So women should submit to their husbands.
Yeah.
Even under circumstances where they take all the money while they're sick and make decisions the woman does not agree with.
Well, if it
Now,
was,
if that's true,
if it was reversed,
can you tell her that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but
she
she
doesn't
agrees.
count
No.
when you cheat. Ahora,
No, but her.
if you cheat
Mira,
on her, it
mira,
doesn't count.
mira.
I will say something about her situation. You know, I'm a woman that also, it's like, look, I'm a nurturer. I'm a great woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of great qualities. I don't want to compete with men. I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. And I want my man to take the lead. But in certain situations, when you're being disrespected, you know, it's like we deserve respect mutually. If, I don't know what you said to her earlier.
Who determines what's respect?
Well, I think your values really determine like how, and communicating like, hey, this makes me feel this. Like, you know, if you call me a bitch, I'm gonna be like, hey, babe, like when you use the word bitch, like that's disrespectful. It's derogatory. It makes me feel this way. Like, you know, please don't use it again.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if you keep
You're talking
like,
about dignity,
well, respect,
human dignity.
respect, I feel like kind of goes under that as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, hang on.
we're not
It's hard. It's hard to define this term because it's subjective.
absolutely.
What could be respect to you could be disrespect to somebody else.
Absolutely.
We agree that that's true, right?
Yeah, like some girls are
so
okay with
don't
being
you have
called
to have a
bitch.
head who tells you what is respect and what is disrespect then?
Well, the thing is,
Since it's a subjective metric?
The thing is, we all have a head. We all grew up in a household, and we all were experienced to the world as it is, and so we all have our beliefs and our values,
Yeah,
right?
but who is the ultimate decision maker in the family?
But what does that have to do with respect?
Because I want to know who determines what respect is in the family. You or him?
We both did before
You
we
both
like,
do.
you know, we both came into that. Before you get to marriage, I think there's a baseline understanding of like what
Boundaries.
is respect. You know what I
Boundaries.
mean? Like you've already been through that kind of.
Yeah, but people change,
Absolutely, people
especially over
change.
time, right?
People change, yeah, and you know, not everyone can withstand changes. Every relationship
So how would a
unique.
wife know if she was being a bitch unless her husband told her?
You got to be called out on your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes
And you got to
deserve-
submit to his judgment, don't you?
Sometimes you deserve
If
a
he
bitch
says you're
wife.
being you got to submit and say yes.
No.
Do you
you're
talk
right.
to your mother like that? Do you talk to your mother
My
like
mom
that?
would completely 100% agree with me when I say
She's a
if
stupid
there
bitch.
has to be an arbiter inside of a relationship
call
who
your
makes
mom
the,
a stupid bitch?
That's not what I said. Again,
So would you
just
let your
said
dad call
I-
her a stupid bitch?
my dad can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the head of the family.
So you would allow him to disrespect
What?
your mother?
It's the head of the family?
There's a different way to say like, hey, Sharon, I don't think you know what you're saying
Uh-huh.
is, but Sharon, you're and that's your mother. That's okay with you.
Okay. He again. This brings me back to the question: who determines inside of the household and the relationship?
We both do. It's a partnership.
You both do.
Yes.
Right. It's equality.
Look, you call it equality, I call it respect.
Well,
I call it a partnership.
If there's not one person,
I can name it
if there's
that.
not one person who is the arbiter, the tiebreaker, the person who ultimately makes the decision, then it's equal.
Yes, there are times where he will, and sometimes, maybe never. I won't ever. I won't need to because I trust him.
Okay.
Because he will always know what to do. But you as a man, with all that pressure that life, gives you, do you always know what to do? Do you always know what's right?
Let's assume that I don't know anything, and I'm making all of the wrong choices. Hang on. I'm making all the wrong choices. Who's the head of the family?
If you're making all the wrong choices, you're probably not married, honey.
Who's assuming I'm not?
You're probably not.
Assuming I'm not.
Or you won't stay married for long if you're making all the wrong choices.
Assuming I'm not, and I'm going to get divorced tomorrow. If I was, answer my question.
What is it?
Well, you have to stop talking long enough for me to ask it.
But there is one.
So
there is one more thing.
Hang on. We'll get to you. So back over to this, right? Ultimately, somebody has to be the decider.
Yes, but in different scenarios, if it's a partnership, the man can take the lead, the woman can, sometimes you as a man are going to be like, that's a good idea, baby. Let's fucking do that.
Sure, you can give input, but what if he says, I don't care?
Yep.
Okay, then he says that. Like,
and then,
what do you want me to argue? There's nothing for me to argue. Then he says that.
And then you close your mouth and you say nothing, right?
I will probably say nothing, or
Probably.
it depends what's happening. You know what I mean? What the situation.
Just out of
is.
curiosity, just so we can get a litmus test on the table, how many of you agree with her that equal partnership in a relationship?
It's
how
not
many of you
equal.
agree?
It's not equal.
Can I say
But
something?
you're making equal arguments.
I'm talking about respect. No, I'm not talking about men and women are not equals. There's a role everyone plays.
Okay, but can I say something? Like, let's say we are Latin women and we are raised with some beliefs. What? So we are really different than.
We already submissive.
Okay, real fast.
We already
real fast.
submissive.
Just so I get an idea of the table. How many of you guys agree with her? Raise of hands.
Say it again about what?
Yes, she does.
I mean, you guys been listening. I mean, did you agree with her
yeah.
stance on things?
I agree. Yeah.
You agree? Okay.
Two.
One?
Only two.
Two?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, you agree. What about you? You don't agree with her? She's been saying a lot of the same things you kind of said.
Yeah, but I don't think the same.
Some of the things I agree.
I'm confused.
Yeah, because I'm a teen woman, I'm a teen man at the same time. It just when the disrespect comes, like
Disrespect.
yeah, in disrespect, cheating and shit like that, I don't tolerate that. If you respect
There was no discussion about cheating, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, because she says something about equal, like this talk. Like if he says something, I'm agree with him because we are partnered. We are like a team, right?
so
You
you
can
also
do
agree with
that.
the equality
Yes,
then, the
that,
team.
Yes.
So then you
Yes.
agree that you are equal.
course,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's three of you that agree.
Yeah.
Three. Okay, cool. Any do you guys not agree that equal?
I feel
Not that
like
they're
being a team
equal,
player is
but-
not necessarily being equal. I think you guys want to just
Like
make
a
it.
partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Make things work.
Well, yeah. If you're a team player, that means you're on the same team and you
Right.
are at the same level.
Right.
Not really. Not
Okay.
all
But we're
teams
not
are, like,
equals.
equal. There's one that's like higher than the other. You
So
know
he's
what I mean?
bringing up the argument coach and player.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
He made a distinguishing
Yeah.
with coach, and you guys don't agree with
The
that. So
thing
then you
is-
think it's player.
I feel like sometimes in the relationships, sometimes you
No,
play
I feel like
coach,
my-
sometimes you play.
You are listening to respond. Do you hear what he just said? Coach to player.
Right.
So if it's team player to team player, that means you're on the same level.
Right.
So equality
But
is your argument.
sometimes, yes, but sometimes, let's say when you're watching like a team play.
All right. Selectively equal. Fair?
Yeah, I guess selectively.
Every now
like
and
I
then.
don't know. It's just you guys keep throwing this equal word,
Well,
and it's for me. It's
Because
like,
every time we test your logic, we come back to we're the same, we're the same, we're the same, we're the same, we're the same. Every time we
That's not what
every
I'm
time
saying.
hang on, every time we run it to its end,
that's not what I'm saying.
I understand.
though.
Here, let me steel man it.
Yeah.
Just so I can assure you that I understand what you're saying, I'll
Yeah.
steel man your argument.
Okay.
Men and women in a relationship, the man is definitely the head of the relationship.
He should
Hang
be
on,
the
hang
head
on,
of my
hang on.
relationship. Yeah.
Let me steel man it and then he can correct me. The man is the head of the relationship, right? We have different gender roles inside of those gender roles, the responsibilities of the woman are different than the responsibilities of the man, but he still ultimately is in charge. Did I get all that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am steel manning you correctly.
Yes.
So I do understand
Yes.
your argument.
Yeah.
So since I know now that I understand your argument, and you know that I've been listening to it this entire time, I'm explaining to you that the entailment of the logic, as I've been logically testing it, leads to equality every single time. Do you want me to walk you through how?
How? Yeah.
Yes, because from your perspective, right, you're in an emotional state with your partner. If you have a disagreement, this is an emotional state for you. So here's how you frame this. You go, yes, I would give him the money and I'd give him this, and I would definitely adhere to the things that he wants to do with the cash and the things that he wants to do with this. Well, what about disrespect? Would you adhere to what he considers to be disrespect? Oh, absolutely not. Okay. Well, wait a second. So how is he the ultimate arbiter then of the household? If when you feel emotional resistance, that's when you're going to give pushback. Why would I assume that you wouldn't give emotional resistance if he's spending the money the way you don't like, and if he's doing other things that you don't
There
like?
will be disagreements.
Right.
Yeah, like
And who's
any
the
other
ultimate arbiter?
relationship. We both are. It's a fucking partnership.
That's right.
honey.
You both are, and it's a
Yeah.
fucking partnership.
Like,
Thank
you know, I'm sorry. Like he's
Comes
not.
back to the
Comes
equality.
back to it every time.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay,
So it does.
All right. So, all right. Okay.